These videos did not post. I'm going to pause it if I can. On YouTube, missing, not missing, subscribe. Let's see. We'll just play it again. These are not uploading to my channel. I've been asking people to subscribe. Then I contact them and say, hey, did you get the videos? And they're like, no, that didn't come down on my video feed. So what is going on? I really need to know. This is okay, so these are the ones, because the police are following me so heavily. I know some of them are on the take, others are not. And yesterday, well, Thursday, when I was out shopping, I was at the bus station, and Chris, who I know smokes crack, but he says he doesn't so much crack that his voice done changed. He said, no, I don't do nothing. I went to prison. And I know Chris because he used to hustle around the University Area Transfer Center. He kept asking me for my number. I'm like, Chris, I ain't into nothing. I don't want your number. I don't want your number. I don't want you to have my number. I just really, I'm not into anything. Ain't been into nothing. Ain't trying to get into nothing. Oh, yeah, me neither. Me neither. I said, where's your girlfriend? The one you said was crazy that smoked. Oh, no, I don't even mess with her. I'm down at the Sally, and they're going to help me get my apartment back. I said, that's really, really good, Chris. And I said, are the people down here giving out food? Because that's the purpose I went down there for. He said, are you hungry? I said, yes. He said, here. And he went in his wallet to give me money. Now, anybody could try to make it be like I was buying drugs or he was giving me drugs. You see what I'm saying? If you're trying to mess up a person's character. So the other thing that was weird, I went out, let's see, I was out and they were, giving out a lady. This was my sister's friend, Shavella, I think her name is. She's always been heavy, but she's gained her. It looks like her stomach had doubled, so I didn't notice her at first, but she's with some ministry and they give food away. Now he looking all happy. He got one can. Shit, you need 40 cans for that crowd. I don't know how to get back to my video. Dang it. The children are trying to teach me about this YouTube and these things. Well, I just won't even worry about it for right now. So the guy, I haven't seen him. I mean, my daughter left the Good Samaritan Inn on her birthday. Let's see, that was May 26th, 2000. She's only been gone away from there for a year, so that was 2023. That was last year. We had a hard time trying to make rent, $20 a day, with our situation being evicted by A-plus properties, having no real way to work because I am alleging that Liberty Staffing let somebody else work under my name as me. And they told me, Tom and Sharon told me, that I was on the do not return list. And when I went to People Ready, the heavyset black guy at the Columbus office with the older white lady that sits there in the afternoon with him, both told me I was on the do not return list. So I contacted Jessica Hapeth, Hapeth, and she never did contact me back. Now, when I say that my phone is hacked, my phone meaning my daughter's phone, because I don't have a phone. The children have technology and I share with them. My email account is hacked, so she could have tried to contact me back. I believe they tried to give me money. I gave them an idea on how to reorganize blow mode upstairs. And I said, if you use my idea, can you please pay me? Because I'm always trying to figure out ways to make money. God gives me great ideas. And he said, sell them to people. You can help make their business more efficient, and they'll be thankful. The money that they save, they can share that money with you. So when I was out on Thursday at Britain Plaza, I'm going to work backwards. I saw Eva, Pastor Eva Thomas Stewart's. Well, if I work backwards, let's start from two guys from Heartline. I think were trying to use those scanners to get credit card information from me when we went to Wawa. So we were out there about 8:40, 8:50 at night. Now to work backwards, I went to Britain Plaza to go to Plato's Closet to get the girls some skinny t-shirts, tank tops, and little short shorts because it's getting ready to get kind of hot. We have one small generator and we're trying to raise funds to get another small generator. So that way in both rooms we can have the fan blowing. Other than that, we have to be in the same room because we just have the one generator and the one fan. So I went to Plato's Closet with the $10 that Chris gave me when I saw him at Marion Transfer Center. And as I went over to Dollar Tree, a Caucasian lady was sitting on the ground. She looked like she was an addict, a drug addict for at least 20 years. Her skin was in really bad shape. And I saw the police officer parked right where she was. So I was a little skeptical. So instead of me walking down the sidewalk in between the lady and the police car, I walked out into the street so that I could look into the police SUV. And I saw a white lady, middle age, and I took note of the number of the police car. And then I went into Dollar Tree, a black lady at the register. I said, "Can you give me $5 so I can buy 3 items?" She said yes. She gave it to me. And then a white lady down the aisle, I said, "Would you be willing to buy me 3 toiletry items?" She said yes. She bought me bleach and 2 small Tide bottles with the Downy in the Tide. And then I bought some liquid Drano, some paper towels, and I can't remember the third thing I bought. I came out to go to the bus, and I had just missed bus 19 to come back to downtown Tampa, and I asked the guy that got off of the Flex bus going to Port Tampa, "Does that bus go all the way down to the park?" I used to work for Honeycutt, was my supervisor when I was a recreation leader too with the City of Tampa Department of Parks and Recreation. I worked at a park out in Port Tampa. It used to be really rough. A couple of those young men, teenage boys, talking about they were going to fight me. I was like, "Nah, I'm at work, but I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, it ain't going to go the way you think it's going to go." And they decided to keep their hands to themselves. And I reported it to my supervisor, and he managed the situation as well. So I said, "Do you know another bus that's going down to the Marion Transfer Center?" He said, "This one." So I jumped on the 360XL, and Pastor Eva was on there. I met her during what storm was that? It was in 2019 because everybody went to Anthony and Tina Fernandez's house out in Summerfield with the pool and the lanai. I didn't want to go out there with them because I was having problems with my brother and I didn't feel safe trying to sleep in the house with him. When I tried to live with him at 700 East Harem, Opelika, Florida, he told me I couldn't close the door and go to sleep. And I'm like, "What do you mean? I'm a grown ass woman. You telling me I can't close the door?" Oh, So that night I sat up all night. The electricity was out, and for some reason God said, "Close the door and sleep against the door." Whenever that happens, to me that means there's danger that God knows about that I don't know about. So when he told me I couldn't sleep against the door, I just sat up all night long until the situation passed. Okay, so now I see Pastor Eva on the bus. It could have been coincidence, but I was wondering if she was following me. And that happens when you're being followed. You start to wonder if everybody is following you. I think it's a natural part of the process. I have a little checklist that I go through to determine whether or not they are gang stalking me or not. So we're working backwards. So before I went on that bus, I came to the transfer center looking to see if my EBT card was there because I had my EBT card the night God told me not to go anywhere, and I let my daughter, Mom, I'm hungry. We got to go out and get something. So we went to Sprouts, and I had on pants with shallow pockets. And I remember getting on the bus. I had the EBT card in my hand when I got on the bus. So between the bus and me getting off the bus and walking several blocks, the EBT card disappeared. So when I got to the counter, he said, you have to go to the police station, tell them you lost your card, bring us a police report, and then Heartline will pull the video footage and find out, if your card was dropped and who picked it up like that. I said, okay. Then I asked about the children's youth riding, and he's like, well, we have to come and take their picture, and then we'll give them a flamingo card. I said, they already have flamingo cards. I just want to buy 2 discount passes. And he said, no, you have to bring the child so we can take a picture. Now I'm already thinking that Thomas and a lot of his family members work for Heartline. They're trying to get my children's pictures and their birth certificates to do fraud. So I'm not bringing my children there to give you a picture. I'm not bringing any more of my children's information to give to you all. Angola's birthday last year, February the 25th, 2003, we were on a Heartline bus getting ready to go raise money, and a large GMC, like suburban truck, pulled out of 19th Street in front of, on the side of the McDonald's on East Hillsboro, and the driver had to like brake really fast, and it threw me forward and jacked up my knees a little bit. And I told Angola, we'll be fine, let's go, we're not going to the hospital, we're not filling out any accident reports, none of that. So we went into McDonald's, and a black guy bought us some food that seemed like it was 3 days old. And thank you for the effort, but something wasn't right about that. And a Caucasian young boy came in, and he's like, oh, you all aren't going to go to the hospital? Are you damaged? Are you okay? I'm like, my knees are throbbing, but I believe I'll recover. I'm not going through that process. And he left. We didn't know where he came from. We were answering questions anyway. So that's the reason I want to just buy them bus passes, and then they can do the monthly bus pass. And he's trying to explain to me, well, if you just put money on the card, if they don't use it every day, I said, I want to buy them a monthly pass, because if they're out in the world and they don't have enough money, the bus drivers lately have not been very nice, not even to the children. So I didn't try to explain to him further, because he was trying to really tell me what to do. Like, I don't have sense enough to know if it's $2 a day, whatever day they go, it would be charged, as opposed to me paying the $32.50 for the month, and maybe they don't use 15 days. So I said, okay, well, scratch that. Can you sell me 2 daily passes? He said yes. And a guy that I knew from working at the stadium, he he paid for it for me. And I saw him at the restaurant across the street from the bus station. There's a little shop that sells sandwiches. And he walked across the street with me and paid for that for me. After that, well, before that, I ran into Chris, and Chris was like, hey, you remember me? You remember me? You remember me? I was like, Chris, yeah, you used to stay over there on 30th And what is that street? The side street. University Square. No, it's University Square Oaks is the name of the apartments. There's a lot of veterans that live back there in that complex. He said, yeah, I caught a bid. I went to prison. I said, what's wrong with your voice? You smoke crack? No, I don't smoke nothing. Chris smoked crack, but he didn't want to admit it. I said, where is your crazy girlfriend? Remember you told me you had a crazy girlfriend that was living with you when I was trying to rent a room from you? He said, oh, I don't mess with her no more. She's still crazy. I said, oh, okay. Well, where are you now? He said, I'm down here at the salad. They getting ready to get me my place. You got a number? You got a number? I said, Chris, I ain't into nothing. I ain't been into nothing. I ain't trying to get into nothing. I don't have a number. I have kids. If I had a number, I wouldn't give it to you, Chris. There's no reason for you to call me, okay? Wanted to make it very clear. And I said, are the people here with food today? The Indian people with the plates. He said, oh, I don't know about that. I just, ate over there. I said, you paid $6 for one hamburger. You could have went right down to Sprouts on 7th Avenue in Florida and bought a pound of ground beef and made 3 hamburgers. And I started telling him how he could get the 2 bricks and then put a little tray across there and cook the hamburgers in no time, even not having a place. And he didn't seem like he was willing to go through any of that. I said, well, I have children I have to feed. So, all right. So I can't, really pay $6. They want to eat 2 burgers each and then 2 burgers for me. You see where that's headed, right? That's $20, $40, $60 basically just on one meal. He like, yeah, I know. So behind me was the American Eagle guy. They're security people, a black guy. New because I don't know him. I think he's new or maybe just new to that particular station at the Marion Transfer Center, was recording our conversation. There was a police officer sitting out in the field in the parking lot where people are usually parked when they're feeding the homeless people. And I was keeping an eye on everything because I'm dealing with fake cops, corrupt sheriff, and then good sheriff and good police officers too, but it takes a little doing to figure out whether they're on the take or fake or good. So I just watch and observe. So I saw the guy behind me recording, and I'm like, let these people do what they do. I put them on my YouTube channel on 4 different occasions because they like to harass me. Now I think it's because of Thomas Scott. Thomas Scott. Why did I say Thomas Scott? That's interesting. Thomas Stewart. So I don't want them doing insurance fraud on my children in my name. And people do things behind your back they think you will never know. But God informs you of these things because he wants you in the know. So I'm not taking any information to Heartline. That's what that is. And I just got a notice from the EBT office, the Department of Children and Families, regarding my case. So they may have gotten my EBT card, gave it to him, and he done called and had my food stamps canceled or something because somebody walking around here telling people they're taking care of me and my children. And when they put me and my 4 children and my nephew Alex out of the house at 6010 North 32nd Street in Tampa, Florida on June 2nd, 2022, the only person that really helped us. Now, my oldest child, he'll help me when I call. He gives me small amounts of money here and there, and I'm keeping an IOU so I can pay him back. But he has a family. They have cars. They have recreational things they have to do with their children. I don't expect my child to be taking care of me, his mother. So, and I only call when I absolutely have no other way. So, when we were put out the house, Johnny Will Lofton, who is part of the problem, I now know, and I thought he was part of the problem then, paid for maybe a week for us to stay at the what's the name of that place? Graham's Hostel. We stayed there for, I think, 10 days. He paid for 5 days. I was left with 4 days outstanding, and I paid for like a day and a half. I was working at Amalie Oil and making short money, like a $61 paycheck. And I started, well, I can't go into these long stories, but then the day they DNR'd me, allegedly, was the day I was on my way to work. I was at Gray Street, Grant Street, something right there at the port. And my children called me and said, Mom, the hostel said they're cleaning the room and they have to do extensive cleaning and they're not letting us back in the room. So they said, oh no, we just want to get in there to clean. Now I had just scrubbed the floor with ammonia because we had a little cat in there, and every now and then he would defecate on the floor if we didn't put him back in the bathroom where he was staying. So I bought ammonia and did the entire floor. So they're telling me now they need to do deep cleaning. I'm saying I just did this. But they didn't let us back in. And that was probably because somebody behind the scenes called and said, hey, put them out. So when they put us out, we ended up at the Good Samaritan. That was really rough. When they put us away from the Good Samaritan, that was before the summer was over. They didn't want us sitting on the back porch anymore. We ended up sleeping in a couple of laundry mats. Anthony Johnson let us bunk on his pull-out couch for $10 a day for a little bit. And what's that man's name? Dennis Brown let us pay him $10 to hang out a little bit over there. And when you live in these apartments, you can't really have company. That's why I don't understand why people don't work harder to get themselves a house. Because you pay $800 to $1,200 a month for just a one bedroom, and they tell you what you can do and what you can't do. And they mean it. They will evict you. You can only have guests for 14 days out of the year. It's like if your mom got sick and she needed you to come and recover at your house, you can't even help your family members. That's crazy. One of the things we need to change about these leases. So we ended up going and staying for about 7 months at Dr. Twiggs's building, my old dentist office at 3304 East 3304 East Hillsborough Avenue, right at 34th and Hillsborough, in between the Shell Station and the Kentucky Fried Chicken. They came, Dr. Twiggs, Hillsborough Sheriff Officer Sergeant Stein or Lieutenant Stein, and Tampa Police Officer Pepolowski. Not a nice guy. They came and put us out July 25th or July 26th of 2023. And I don't know. I was talking to Tina, and maybe Ramona had something to do with it. More than likely, Kenneth had the most to do with it, and maybe James Johnson. But somebody, Galvin Imisibe, somebody called and lied and told them people I was selling drugs. I don't sell no drugs and I don't do no drugs. But they put us out anyway. An angel came, and I'm going to call him an angel until I get the story, to get ice from the ice chest. And it was somebody who I used to clean up the parking lot where their business is. And he saw me tossing things out the door. I was like, fuck it, if y'all gonna put us out, let me get what I can get and y'all can change the lock. So I was just tossing my tables, my school tables and chairs and whatever I needed out onto the lawn. Because I told the girls, just let's get this shit out of here and get on away from his building if that's the way he feels. Now, I know that Dr. Twiggs would have let us stay if we would have been able to pay the money. I told him money was coming. But my brother Anthony and some other crooks, fraudulent crooks, were stealing my money, everything that came in. They're still stealing my mail. They can contact me and tell me to go down to the courthouse to check on my inheritance, but you couldn't give me my mail. Several checks have come in that mailbox and they ain't give me none of them. They still have my mail and they can get in touch with me. So they done stole my mail, and they done opened checks and cashed deposited in cash checks. You see what I'm saying? So if they would have given me my mail, I could have cashed my own checks and said, here you go, I'll pay you for the year, or I'll pay you for this year and next year. It was big money moving through the mailbox under my name. And that didn't happen. So I think Dr. Twiggs didn't believe that I had money coming and I was just freeloading, and that wasn't the case. So nobody has been taking care of us. Even when Galvin briefly stayed with us at the building, I was thinking he could pay me $10 a day. You paid the Good Samaritan $20 a day, but he never came up off of cash. I had to pretty much beg him. 3 times he gave me $20, and it seemed like it hurt him to his heart. But he had this card that he kept swiping. Now I'm wondering whose credit card was he swiping. So he would buy us pupusas, and he wanted to buy us pupusas every night. And I didn't want to eat refried beans every night. So I'm like, if you give me the $10, I can go to the grocery store and buy what I want to buy. Oh, I don't know. I have to see. I'm like, you say you go to work at Anaheim, not Anaheim, Odessa, 5 days a week. So how you can't pay $10 a night to stay somewhere? So I didn't argue with him. He was going through the same situation we were, trying to catch his footing, had lost his car because of some accident. He didn't tell me the details. He said he worked as a six-figure headhunter for a personnel company in California somewhere. So I was secretly interviewing him to see if he could be my number two guy when I opened my SOS Academy Resource Center. I didn't tell him I was interviewing him. I was just checking, watching how he moved. And Sherry Williams allegedly sent me money through Cash App. He said he never got it in his account. Now, I thought to myself, I think he's lying. But maybe his girlfriend, Melina, aka Jubilee DeBeck, she has access to his phone. Maybe she, hearing me about the money, telling a set to tell Melina to tell Galvin, don't spend my money. I need that so we can get car insurance. And we can live in the car and we can drive to Planet Fitness. Everybody can take a bath. I can drop a set off to school, and it'll be a little uncomfortable, but we can make it work. We got air conditioner, we got heat, and we got movement. So I thought maybe Jubilee DeBeck, his girlfriend Melina, went in his phone and moved it to her Cash App account, and he never knew about the money. And one night he got drunk and he said, Yahweh said I could keep the money because I needed it. And then in the morning, when he was sort of kind of sober, I said, hey, you said this last night when you were drunk. And he said, if you're going to tell stories, I said, oh, God, you got to move him away from here. So I decided, no, he's not somebody I would want to work for my company. I mean, we're going to have thousands and thousands of dollars coming through there. So if he'll steal 2,000, if he'll steal 1,000, yeah, he'll steal 300,000. So that's when I decided, without saying a word to him, nope, it's not going to work. So I started praying and asking God to move him. He peacefully moved, but I did go to the beginnings and find him a bunk where he could pay $100 down, and then he would pay, did they say 450 or 350 a month to stay there? And they have a kitchen, they provide food, they have social workers, they help with everything. So he said he didn't want to go there. He was going to sleep in his storage unit or whatever. But I said, okay, you do whatever. And he did keep coming back, checking. I said, I told you to